Rayvers? Welcome to Ray Reviews, and this week I'm going to be going undercover with the Special Air Service as I take a gander at Who Dares Wins. Now, just to clear up any confusion, when I say I'm reviewing Who Dares Wins, I ain't talking about SAS Who Dares Wins, the Channel 4 reality programme where they torture celebrities.
Hands still, or I'll f***ing ram it up your own arse.
And I ain't talking about National Lottery Who Dares Wins, that game show with Nick Knowles. And I ain't talking about Who Dares Wins, the 1980s comedy programme that featured, amongst others, a young Tony Robinson. Ooh. No, I am talking about Who Dares Wins, the movie starring the late Action Man Tough Guy, Lewis Collins. Now, Action Man Tough Guy Lewis Collins were famous for being Bodie in The Professionals, where he were part of the CI5 law enforcement department.
A hand grenade down her bra can be a new experience for a girl.
Anyway, in Who Dares Wins, Action Man Tough Guy Lewis Collins plays SAS Captain Peter Skellen, the tough and uncompromising leader of a crack SAS platoon. And Skellen goes undercover to infiltrate a terrorist organisation called the People's Lobby, who are campaigning for nuclear disarmament. But they're actually a bunch of nutcase extremists, which seems a bit contradictory to me. Having a bunch of pacifists who are also murdering terrorists. But yeah, there's no point picking at plot holes, because it ain't that sort of film, believe me. Now, Action Man Tough Guy Lewis Collins, he was the real deal, because according to the old Wikipedia, he were a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and he were in the Territorial Army. So, sort of like a 1980s version of Tory MP Mark Francois. Now, even though Action Man Tough Guy Lewis Collins is the real deal as SAS Captain Peter Skellen, it ain't clear from the film exactly what Skellen actually does. Yeah, he goes undercover, but he doesn't seem to relay much information to his superiors.
So?
Yes, sir.
It's today.
What is it?
I don't know.
What time?
I've no idea. I can't get a thing out of him.
Admittedly, after the terrorists dress up as the folk from the Full Monty and take some hostages at this American embassy, he does do a little bit of Morse code with a mirror. And he were obviously so good at this Morse code that his boss were able to decipher the message instantaneously.
For exactly 1,000 hours, we'll arrange diversions.
And then when it all kicks off, he does murder a few people. But his SAS mates were going to do that anyway, so I don't really know why he needed to go undercover in the first place. Although, when the SAS blokes come in and start doing their stuff, there's a very funky soundtrack. It sounds terrific. Yeah, I found myself watching thinking, why didn't they have more of this throughout the rest of the film? You know, SAS blokes doing daring deeds to a funky soundtrack. Incidentally, the funky soundtrack were by Roy Budd, who also did the funky soundtrack to Get Carter. Oh, love a good funky soundtrack, mate. Takes a film up a notch, doesn't it? Now, for me, tonally, it felt a little bit like a feature-length episode of The Sweeney. Yeah, it had some violent bits in it, and some folk got killed in that. But what were very Sweeney-like were the amount of familiar faces that popped up in it. Now, some of them are dead famous, like Edward Woodward, Ariwa Woo-Wah. But others you might find yourself thinking, I recognise them, what have they been in? Well, don't worry about straining your brain. Raymond is here to help you out. That bloke there, he was the sword-wielding Saracen off Robin of Sherwood. That's John Duttine, who were in Day at Tifford's, amongst other things. That's Tony Asoba, he was the prison hardnut in Porridge. That's Patrick Allen, he's perhaps got the best voice of any actor ever. They got him to do the voiceovers for them public service broadcasts about nuclear war.
If there is no building nearby, try to find some solid cover. If there is no solid cover, lie flat in a ditch or a hole and cover your head, face and hands as fast as you can with some of your clothes.
Now, anybody else had given that advice, and you'd think it were a load of shit. But Patrick Allen has got such an authoritative voice. I can't think of anybody better to inform the public that we're all going to die. Now, for my money, they missed an opportunity, not getting Patrick Allen to play the live-action version of Dan Dare, Pirate at Future. Look at him, yeah, spitting image there, isn't he? Yeah, some producers missed a trick there, I reckon. And that bloke, he were in Raiders of the Lost Ark, playing the French archaeologist, Bollock.
Belloc.
Yeah, tomato, Belloc, Bollock. Now, some folk have said that Action Man Tough Guy Lewis Collins would have made a great James Bond. And apparently he even had an audition for Bond in the early 80s, but were deemed to be too aggressive. Which is a shame, because you can see from this performance that it probably made quite a good Bond. For example, his eyebrows look like they've been sculpted to make them permanently more expressive, so that he could emulate Roger Moore's brilliant eyebrow acting. And he's got this moody expression on his face, where he does this pouting. Yeah, he does, but he pouts quite a bit in this. And he's got that confident swagger that Bond needs, as evidenced by his ability to pull the birds. Ladies.
I'd like to take you to bed.
You're a confident bastard, aren't you?
I feel I should point out here, even though he's pulled that lady and goes back to her apartment and has it off with her, he's only doing it for Queen and Country, because he's actually very happily married. In fact, this film seems to be very much of its time, because unlike most of your modern day Action Man Tough Guys, Skellen, he doesn't have any personal demons. He seems very happy with his lot in life. And also, there ain't no gratuitous nudity in this film, no. You see, after he's had it off with that lady he's pulled, he's wearing this terry toweling dressing gown. Whereas your modern day Action Man Tough Guy doesn't need any excuse to whip his shirt off and reveal his honed physique. And I might be wrong, but there didn't seem to be loads of effing and jeffing in this film. For example, the terrorists didn't go round swearing at their hostages. Mostly the harshest thing they said to them were telling them to shut up.
You shut up!
I said shut up.
Shut up! Shut up!
Shut up! Shut up.
In fact, for the most part, the terrorists did seem to be a little bit inept. I'm not even sure they needed the SAS to sort them out. A bit of a sledgehammer to crack a walnut. I think they just wanted an excuse to send the SAS in and get all gung-ho. For example, when these two terrorists go round to Skellen's missus's house, they could have easily stopped them getting in. But no, they just stuck a gormless copper on the door, let them go in and take her hostage, just so they've got an excuse to send the SAS squad team smashing through the wall to murder both of the terrorists. I mean, that's bloody far-fetched for starters, ain't it? The idea that they could take all them bricks out without next door knowing. Bloody hell, my neighbour were doing some DIY at 8:30 on Sunday morning the other week, making a right old racket. I had to give him a proper round of f***s. And I don't even know Skellen's missus needed rescuing. Look at her. Don't mess with Mrs. Skellen. So, on to Ray's ratings. And it's fair to say you've definitely got to be in the right frame of mind to watch this film. I were expecting it to be pretty naff. A 2-star film. But I was pleasantly surprised, because I switched my brain off. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I found it very entertaining. So I'm rating Who Dares Wins as a 3-star, 2-star film. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it ain't going to win any Oscars, this. And it is exactly what it looks like. So don't watch it expecting it to be something to taint. At times it did feel like an SAS recruitment advert. And it were a little bit too much pro-nuclear weapons for my taste. But, you know, if you're flicking channels late one night, because your other half's gone to bed or whatever, then, you never know, give it a watch, you might enjoy it.
Apologies to the President for any damage to the wallpaper.
Yeah, I think there's a bit more to it than that. There's 20 dead bodies in there, mate. well, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at 2 days wins with me this week, Rayvers. So if you did, click the old like, smash the like button, as the young'uns say. Smash the like button, subscribe, share it with your mates. And there's more to come next week when I take a trip back in time to ancient Rome as we visit the Colosseum and Gladiator. Yeah. And if you want to take a look at what else I've been up to, then check out my race nights every Saturday. I'll pop a link below in the description. So yeah, come and get involved in a race night. It's fun for all family. Yeah. Any road, I will see you next time. Okeydoo.